Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my series that's all about surviving the first 6 weeks after giving birth. And today's topic is about breastfeeding. Now I'm going to focus on just the breastfeeding, not pumping and bottle feeding and stuff like that. I may dedicate a whole nother video on pumping and how to get into a good pumping schedule and things like that if you guys are interested in a video about that. But I really want to focus on those moms who have it in them that they want to breastfeed. I'd like to start with my 3 big things that I think make a huge difference when it comes to breastfeeding, and they all are essentially free. And then I'm going to share with you guys my favorite product when it comes to breastfeeding, and I think every single person who hopes to give their baby breast milk should own one of these. I want to share a disclaimer with you guys. I am not a lactation consultant. This is not medical advice. This is just my opinion from somebody who has been breastfeeding for a very long time. One of the hardest things that I have to tell people when they come to me for advice for breastfeeding is to not introduce a pacifier to their baby until they have established a good breastfeeding routine and a full supply. Now, I say that knowing that that can be very hard for many people, but I promise you, if you give your baby a pacifier before your supply is fully in and before you guys have created a good routine when it comes to breastfeeding, it will make your baby have a harder time latching, and it will also stop you from actually feeding on demand, which will increase your supply. You need to be feeding your baby whenever they show signs of hunger. Now that's sucking on their hands, bringing their hands to their mouth, doing the sucking motion without their hands to their mouth, looking for the breast. You need to be putting your baby to your breast and allowing them the opportunity to feed. Now they may just latch on and then latch right back off because they don't actually want to feed, but doing this over and over and over again will stimulate your body's signals to produce the milk that you need to support your baby. If you're giving your baby a pacifier, that is going to stop some of those moments where your baby is just nursing for comfort, and those nursing for comfort cues help create the milk supply that you want to support your baby as your baby gets older. You may notice that your baby cluster feeds a lot, where they're at the breast constantly, or they're at the breast and they're off the breast and want to go back, and then they're off and they want to go back and they're off. These are all things that stimulate the body to produce more breast milk. They can be tiring and sometimes frustrating for a mom when you're trying to sleep or you're trying to get things done, but it's part of nature. It's how your baby tells your body that they need more milk from you, and it will help you have a more successful breastfeeding journey. Another super important thing is to drink a ton of water. The more water you are bringing into your body, the better your body is going to be able to produce that milk. So if you think that maybe your supply isn't enough, or you're struggling to feed your baby, you feel like your baby isn't getting enough, make sure you are drinking enough water. Now I'm going to get into a few of those essential products I think you should have for those first few weeks when you're trying to breastfeed your newborn. Now, my number 1 product that I will tell every single mom that they should buy, it's pretty inexpensive, but it's a hot cup. I use this thing so much from the very beginning of breastfeeding. I even had a lactation consultant once that I was talking to in a hospital ask me if I brought one to the hospital with me. And I didn't because I wasn't planning on staying very long. But these are amazing, and you can use them in so many ways. Like if you are in the hospital and your baby is not with you, you can attach this to you to collect any milk, and then the baby can be fed from a bottle with this, maybe if they're in the NICU. You can use this if you are breastfeeding baby on one side, you can attach this to the other side, and it will collect any milk that your body is letting down. Your body will naturally just start expressing milk if you are breastfeeding at all. So you will be breastfeeding on one side and you might notice that you might start to leak on the other side. So having this catch that milk is amazing, especially when your supply isn't very full yet and you're kind of working up to get more of a milk supply. It can be nice to collect and store any milk that you may have for your baby in the future. It also works to promote your body to make more breast milk. So when I had my first, and I had a lot less knowledge about my own personal body, after I breastfed my son, I would attach this haka to the same side I had breastfed him on and collect any extra milk I could get out of my breast, and then I would store that milk in the freezer, and then I would do the same thing on the other side after I fed my son, and that's how I collected breast milk. Now I have a pretty good supply right away, so I am now not as worried about that. But when I breastfeed my son, I will put this on one side and breastfeed him on the other to collect any milk that I lose. I am kind of an oversupplier, or I consider myself an oversupplier. So if I am breastfeeding on one side, my other breast will literally just shoot out milk. And you don't want that for yourself at all. But if you are an undersupplier, putting this on the other side and adding the suction to it can promote for the other breast to create more milk as you're breastfeeding on one side. That can over time increase your milk supply. Now I have a few other tips on helping to increase your milk supply. Again, I could make a whole nother video on that, something I'm really passionate about. I love breastfeeding, but if you don't care about collecting your breast milk, you don't have to. I would recommend, in the case of having an oversupply, you do have some type of reusable or disposable pad you can leave in your bra to help keep you from leaking everywhere while you're breastfeeding, because in those first few weeks of your body trying to figure out what's going on, you might be producing a lot more milk than your baby could use, or you might be needing a little bit of help to stimulate more breast milk so that your baby can be fed the amount that he or she may need. But if you're gonna buy one product for your breastfeeding journey, this is my number one product. I absolutely love these things. Super inexpensive. They make ones that have stands, they make ones that have lids. There's a whole bunch of different versions out there. This is the actual original haka. I've had it through 2 kids now. I absolutely love this thing. Not sponsored. Another thing that is really important to have is a nipple cream. Now I love this one. I'm gonna share it here. It is one that you can put on and you can nurse with it on. You don't have to wipe it off. You have to look into some nipple creams, because if you are breastfeeding and you put a nipple cream on that your baby can't ingest or have on them, you will have to clean your nipple before you breastfeed. With this one, you won't have that problem. It is an organic balm. You will have sore nipples. It's just part of it. That part of your body is not used to that sucking motion. It is going to be painful after that's been going on for a little while. So nipple cream is really important. You won't need it your whole breastfeeding journey, but those first few days and few weeks, it is really a game changer. It's something every breastfeeding mom should have. This is just the one I recommend. I love it. I have used other ones and I hated them. This one smells good, it feels good. It's hard, but then you put a little bit in your finger and the warmth of your fingers warm it up and make it really liquidy. It's great. Another thing to remember is that your breasts are going to change sizes. So they've probably changed since you were pregnant, and they will continue to change as your milk supply changes, as it increases and decreases. And a really important thing is having a good supportive bra. It doesn't necessarily need to be a nursing bra, but it needs to be comfortably supportive, not a sports bra that is super tight and squeezes them together. You also don't want something that has wires in it. That is so uncomfortable for those first few weeks. I'm going to share a picture of my favorite bra. I love this thing. It's so comfortable, super easy to breastfeed in, and I pretty much live in it for the first few weeks when I'm home because it's easy to breastfeed in, but it also gives a little bit of support without feeling like my boobs are being like suffocated. That is one of the most uncomfortable feelings that I've experienced when it comes to breastfeeding, more than anything else, is just the feeling like that pressure on them when they're super sensitive. Breastfeeding can be super difficult and sometimes very defeating. It can test a lot of your patience when it comes to figuring out a good latch and to kind of finding that rhythm with baby. But if you make it past those first 6 weeks, really the first 8 weeks, it gets 100% easier. It's one of those things that if you can stick it out, it will be very rewarding to you. And it's something I am super, super passionate about. So if you're struggling with the breastfeeding journey and you're trying to figure out how to make it more comfortable or how to increase your supply, please feel free to comment down below and ask me any questions you might have. I would love to share some advice with you. If you want to have more of a one-on-one conversation, then go over to my Instagram account and direct message me there. I would love to be a supporting person to you. I love breastfeeding. It's something that I'm so grateful that I've been able to do with my children, and I hope I can inspire you to try and do it with yours. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more of my Surviving the First 6 Weeks series. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.